wasn't cheating.
He was cheating, Rory. He was cheating, and you were cheating with him. There's no other way to spin that, kid.
I'm not spinning it, and I'm not a kid. I'm 19.
This is my third video on Rory Gilmore, and I purposely left this specific situation out because I wanted to make a full video on it. So enjoy this one, and then after this, I do want to start moving on to other characters. Let's talk about the lead up to when Rory sleeps with the married Dean.
Oh, Rory.
More specifically, I want to explore who Rory was becoming before we got to that moment. To me, this was less a story of one bad decision and more a story of disorientation, of growing out of your old life and not quite knowing who you are without it. And if you look closely, that shift starts earlier than the Dean situation itself. At the beginning of season 4, Rory returns to Stars Hollow and immediately gets pulled into something small and familiar. Taylor assumes she'll be the ice cream queen like it's a given, and for years it probably would have been, but this time she says no because she genuinely doesn't have time.
I only have a couple days left before I go off to school, and my mom and I have every moment planned, so I'm just going to have to pass on this one.
Taylor reframes it as Rory not having time for the town anymore now that she's a Yale student.
Unfortunately, kid, she was just too busy. She just couldn't find time in her busy queen schedule.
Rory knows that that's not true, but the comment still clearly gets under her skin.
Thanks a lot. Yale can have you.
Because what if she is changing? Going to Yale, moving to a new city, living in a dorm with new roommates instead of just being with her mom? Of course she's gonna change. She's growing up. When Rory leaves for Yale, it's framed as a natural next step because that's something that she's always been working towards. But emotionally, it's a much bigger rupture than the show initially lets on. Stars Hollow was not just home, it was a system where she was known, admired, and understood. She knew how to succeed there. Even at Chilton, she eventually learned the rules and adapted to them. Yale was a little bit different. Now she's surrounded by people who are more socially confident, more experienced, and more comfortable in elite spaces. For the first time, Rory's not automatically exceptional, she's just another student trying to find her footing. And that kind of shift doesn't always show up as some obvious breakdown. Sometimes it shows up in subtler ways. And that's when Dean comes back into the picture. Dean represents familiarity. He reminds Rory of the version of herself that felt secure and understood, and maybe even special. So when she reconnects with him, it probably feels validating too. That's why the line,
"He's Dean, my Dean."
He's not your Dean.
Carries so much weight. She's holding on to a version of herself where things made sense, where she knew exactly who she was and where she belonged. When your present feels uncertain, the past can start to feel incredibly comforting. So when Dean tells her that his marriage is over, Rory believes him.
If it's over, I'm sorry.
There's no real follow-up questioning after that, because in her mind, why would he lie?
Well, he tried the best he could, but it didn't work. It's over.
Like if you're enjoying so far. At 19, she's not fully thinking through what over actually means though, or what her role in that situation is, or how this affects someone like Lindsay.
God, Lindsay!
She's reading the situation emotionally, and he chose her.
Well, aren't you glad that it happened with someone who's good and really loves me?
Also, what's interesting, and I don't think people talk about it enough, is that Rory does feel guilt about this, even if we don't see her fully verbalize it. Take a look at this scene.
I did that.
Did you put in the meat thermometer?
Yes, I put in the meat thermometer. I put in 3 meat thermometers just in case one of them wasn't working. I did it exactly like you told me to, and it still turned out awful.
Maybe.
Dean likes roast beef. We had it at our wedding. His mother makes it every time we go over there. I'm making dinner tonight, and it has to be perfect.
Rory sees that Lindsay's not acting like someone in a marriage that's already over. She sees it as someone that's trying to fix their marriage.
God, Lindsay!
And that's not the context that Rory had before. That moment matters because it forces Rory to see something that she'd been avoiding. There's an awareness there that maybe wasn't fully there before. A recognition that something about this isn't right. But instead of processing that feeling, she deflects it. She's only 19, guys, remember that. Her fight with Lorelai feels less like genuine disagreement and more like avoidance. Accepting Lorelei's perspective would mean confronting a version of herself that doesn't match how she wants to see herself, so she pushes back. A lot.
We didn't have a fight. Everything is fine with Dean. I want to go so I can get away from you.
Not necessarily because she fully believes she's right, but because she's not ready to admit that she might be wrong. So Rory does what she often does when she doesn't want to handle something. When she finally decides to send Dean a letter after an entire summer away, Lindsay finds it, and that leads to a very public scene of her throwing his things out the window in front of the whole town.
I hate you, Dean. I hate everything.
Let's just talk.
I don't want to talk. I don't want you here.
Sorry, okay?
And when Rory goes to visit Dean after that, he shifts the blame onto her,
Because I was married, Rory. Married.
which honestly always really annoyed me. He very clearly told her it was over and made it sound like it was something that both him and Lindsay understood.
It's over. We both feel it. I know, we both feel it.
You and Lindsay?
Yeah, me and Lindsay.
God, Lindsay!
And I'm not excusing Rory's behavior, by the way. I'm just kind of shedding a little bit more light to it.
Lives are destroyed and you and your daughter can go to hell.
Then once Rory and Dean are actually together, the relationship already starts to feel way off. And I think that's because the disorientation Rory felt when she first got to Yale never really went away. Dean may have initially felt like comfort, but comfort is not the same as compatibility. When Rory starts her second year at Yale, you can see that same disorientation show up again, very similarly to when she first starts Yale. When the question of her love life comes up again,
Do you have a boyfriend?
What?
I'm just curious. You don't mention anyone and there's no one here you seem to be with, so I was just wondering what the deal was.
I don't know. She drifts back to Dean. But this time around, Dean doesn't fit into Rory's life anymore. They've both changed in ways that make the relationship feel really out of place. Rory lets the relationship stretch into this in-between space where nothing is fully acknowledged. Dean is the one who officially ends it, but emotionally Rory had already started leaving.
I don't belong here. Not anymore. Do I?
Dean. This is also where Logan becomes important, because he's such a sharp contrast to Dean. Logan fits into the world Rory is moving toward, and Dean belongs to the world where she already left behind. And trying to exist in both at once becomes impossible. And honestly, if Dean hadn't ended it then, it's very possible it would have dragged on much longer, kind of like what happened with Jess. The Dean storyline is easy to reduce to just Rory making a bad decision. And for years, that's what I believed as well. But I think it's more revealing than that. It shows us how Rory handles uncertainty, how she responds to guilt, and how she navigates becoming someone new while still clinging to who she used to be. And maybe most importantly, it marks the beginning of a version of Rory who's no longer just the good girl. She becomes way more complicated than that. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It's completely free to subscribe. You'll just get more videos from me. Leave a comment. Also, I'm really feeling my sweater today. And I got this on Rent the Runway. I love Rent the Runway because I get to try cool pieces like this. If you use the link in my description, you can get 60% off of your first month. I bet Rory would love Rent the Runway too. Again, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Have a great one, guys. Bye.